Welcome back to another episode of A Record of My Father. Here we are today. We're going to talk about our blindness. I'm freaking blind, -3.5 in both eyes. But I started wearing contacts at the
Does that mean
right.
you're a seven?
I don't think it's combined, is it? I
No
think it's
idea. I
per
just did
eyeball.
that because it's like, hey,
I met somebody the other day that was a -6.2 in each eye. I'm like, whoa.
what's that?
Because -3.25 apparently is legally blind, and this person was a -6.2.
What does legal mean? What did they have
They're like,
somebody out
you are
there,
not allowed to drive.
a lawyer like looks at you, goes, "Yo, you can't see. Fuck off."
You are not allowed to drive if you can't if you have
Oh, so that's
negative.
what they mean when they say you're not your vision's not good enough to drive. That's not the same as legally blind.
I think everything is based on
Driving?
your ability to drive or drive a motor vehicle. I wonder if you can drive a boat. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, there's different requirements for different type of things that you have.
Yeah. When
You
did
know.
you realize you were blind? You realized a lot later.
Mine was weird. Like when did you get your glass? Do you remember?
It's third grade.
Third grade. You know
Yeah,
who
third
else
grade.
got their glasses in third grade?
Oh.
Edwin, your
Uh,
your your uncle. He got his in third grade. I did not get my glasses till I was 27. And it was one of those moments because for the longest time I didn't like I went to school, got out of school. Most of what I was looking at was this far away. It was, reading, looking. I had really good vision close up. I couldn't see anything 15, 20 feet away. And I worked in this my first professional job. When you work concrete, you don't really need to see anything past here. You're not looking at the distance to do anything. Uh, I had my first professional job, and there were people across a room, and it was a big room, open room, and open area. It's called the public reference room. And I would see people, and I would wave at them, and they were like 40 feet away, women in particular, because I was like in my mid 20s, because I thought it was somebody I knew. And I went over to them. And as I got closer, I realized that there was a look of fear on their face when they see me going. And I'm walking real quick towards them, like, and they're like, what's he going to do? Why is this guy I don't know rushing towards me? And then I'd be like, oh, sorry. I thought you were somebody I knew. But the nail in the coffin is I got a invite to a party on River Road, and they said it was a right on such and such a street, which I don't remember what the frick street was. So I drive over the bridge and I go down River Road. I'm driving down River Road, and it was a right onto this other street. And so I had to be able to read the street signs from the road. I couldn't. I pulled over to the first one, looked. How far
oh, that's
away?
dangerous.
I did this like on 10 streets, and then I gave up and I said, it's time, because I could not read. I couldn't read. Not a stop sign. Stop is you can infer what it is.
Well, that road also changes time of day. It changes one way sometimes.
I don't remember. It was in the evening. It was late. It was like 11:30.
You're
It was a
talking after like
party.
Chain Bridge, right? Chain Bridge River Road, like taking Chain Bridge on River Road.
No, when you go across Cabin John, you know what that is?
Yeah, yeah.
And then because Chain Bridge is a completely different bridge. Cabin John is the one that's on 495. And then north of there, River is not the first one, it's the second one. And down there's like a lot of like ritzy rich neighborhoods. And I was going into one, and I had to pull over and the right each time to see what the road was, because I
I see what you're
couldn't
talking about.
tell.
So you're talking
You
about
know,
over
and
in the Palisades, right? That road? That far
not
down,
not
or you're
not
like,
that not that far over. I mean, you're you're
okay.
you're completely in a different world. Go to 495, go north on 495, go to the after you cross Cabin John Bridge, there's the first exit that goes down to where your old school was,
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
I forget what that is. Then the second road is River Road, and that's a little higher up, and that goes to like a
Oh,
lot
I'm
of
not even familiar with that
but
river road at all.
Bethesda and all the kind of stuff like
Only the
that.
one
You know,
on the
it's not River,
Palisade
that's
side.
Canal. That's Canal or
Oh, you're
MacArthur.
right.
That's Canal
Yeah.
or MacArthur. You're talking about two completely. Yeah, and then
Yeah, it's
there's
Canal Road. Okay, yeah. Another water-based road. Sorry that I get
and
my
then there's
water.
Hollywood Boulevard,
Yeah.
and
And there's Melrose and there's
and Melrose, and I go to Melrose, and I could my is
see,
that
so
near
that's near
Melrose?
Georgetown Pike, right?
Yeah, it's right near.
Yeah, right near Georgetown Pike, right off of Melrose and right behind
Oh my god!
yeah, the
But
American Legion
anyway,
Bridge.
that was the epiphany or the moment. And you know how you have moments that make you change. And I was like, I'm 26 or 27. I got to go get an eye. I went, and the guy writes me a prescription. I'm going, so what do you think? And he goes, what do you mean? What do I think? You needed glasses 5 years ago. Get glasses or contacts. I tried to get contact. I know I got glasses at first until I got married. And then Valerie put in contacts, and she was just like, it was just like, no big deal.
It took me forever to get that down. Oh,
I
God.
got them in once, and I couldn't take them out. They generally took me 45 minutes, and I looked like I got really stoned in the morning because I was like blood red eyes because I was just like, I kept poking them on and it didn't work. And then I'd get them in, and then they'd be crooked. They'd be up here, half and half. Oh, being contacts didn't work. And I said, screw it. I'm just going to wear glasses, and I'm going to tape them to my head if I got to, be in worry. And then I didn't do LASIK until you came along because my glasses were of such a high power that we'd be driving down the road, like when we went to Southwest Virginia, or we didn't go to what was it? I went to Atlanta once, back and forth with these glasses. I could see the exits like 2 exits down. As soon as the sign popped up, I could read the sign. She was always like amazed at like how good my glasses were, whatever they were calibrated, but they were calibrated to be like 20 a billion or something. I don't know what it was.
Do you remember what your prescription was?
I don't remember. I could just see really, really, really well. But when I took them off, but also I didn't need glasses at this distance. I could read anything on a computer, no problem at all.
That's me as well, but I still have the glasses on.
But then I've
gotten so used to it.
Yeah, but you and I, when you were born, you were a glasses grabber.
Oh, yeah.
You would disarm me. The way you would disarm me is I'd pick you up and you grab my glasses and throw them on the floor, or throw them away. You grab them and throw, and then you'd laugh. My $300 glasses, you would grab, you'd throw them against the wall, and that's when it was a lot. I mean, I know it's a lot of money now, but it was a lot more money then.
There wasn't affordable options like Warby Parker and things like that before.
No, there wasn't anything like that.
They were always expensive to be visibly handicapped.
You could get cheaper ones, but then you had to get the right different type, and you couldn't get this motorized ones, and you couldn't get the polarized ones, and you couldn't get the auto chain, and there's all these and then you get really crappy frames, and it's just like, oh, there were so many.
Going in the ocean, I think you lost over like 6 or 7 pairs, maybe.
A bunch, because I did my glasses. Unfortunately, I would get them to be sunglasses too, so they would
the transition.
Transition, they'd automatically change. So the cool thing is we were at the beach. We would go to the beach, and I'd have my glasses, wouldn't have to change them. So I'd sitting on the beach, and then all of a sudden, I decided to go in the water. And you don't realize that it's not bright out until you take your sunglasses off or your glasses, or you don't realize you have them on. And you go in the water, and then you get hit, and then you're like, and then it's real bright outside, and you're like, crap, and they're gone. I mean, I lost my first pair in where the hell was it? St. John. The wife and I were down there, and we were on a party. We were out in the middle of the water, and I jumped on one of those little jumpy uppy downy things out in the middle of the water. It's maybe 200 yards offshore, and it was like a drinking whatever. We were like in our early 30s, and this might have been because we went down to British Virgin Islands. Anyway, I'm there. I slide down the ramp, and I think I hear in the background, "What about your glass?" Well, I hit the glasses. They go under. They're gone. We go back. I talked to a guy there, and he said, "Well, I get off in 20 minutes, and I got a tank. I'll go check." And
well, that's nice. Whoa. That's nice of him.
Yeah, and he worked there because it was one of those all-inclusive resorts, and they were all nice, and they were really. And I said, "Damn, I lost them." And they were. And see, here's the problem: I had no spare glasses, no sunglasses. I had sunglasses, but who cares because they weren't prescription, so I couldn't see. So I can't see. We just got there. It's the first day of the trip. We're at St. John. You can't fly to St. John. You have to, unless you go private jet from yada yada yada, and we weren't like going to be doing that then. you have to take a ferry across to Charlotte-Amalie, and then you fly somewhere else. Well, Charlotte-Amalie was where we would have to go to get a prescription. But then we'd have to call our office to have it shipped there, and then it would take 2 or 3 days to get it, and then to make them, and then I would get my glasses in 5 days. So I'd be blind for 5 days. And I don't know about you, but if you take your glasses off now, can you imagine you get nothing for 5 days?
Gives me a headache. Gives me a really big headache.
You can't read. You can't. I mean, there's all sorts of things you just couldn't do. You know, you're like, I mean, I could read, but it would be weird.
That was one of the times that we went to the beach that I was wearing my contacts. I forgot my contacts for some reason, but I thought I packed my glasses and I didn't.
Yeah.
And then I took my contacts out. And then we were there for 8 days and I had no way of seeing anything. That was
Wow.
I got the biggest migraine in the first day.
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah,
it's so bad. Yeah.
When you're really blind, when you're clinically blind like that, oh my gosh.
It's hard to adjust, you know.
No, it's a nightmare.
But then years later, I mean, and because you would do the pull and throw, and
that's what we're calling it now.
Right.
I like that.
The pull and throw.
Yeah.
Well, remember when you pulled and threw them, you threw them on the ground, and then I had you and I flipped you upside down, and you're like, because you're getting out of my hand and I'm holding you there, and he kicked me in the eye, and he tore my cornea.
Oh, geez.
And then I go to the hospital, and they take me in right away because the lady said, "Oh," and she sees me, and she goes, "Well," and she goes, "See the report? It says toe and eye. I thought we were going to get to remove a toe from your eye. This is boring. You know, you got to, it's torn. Here, have some Valium." And they gave me they kind of got me high, and then they sent me out the door.
Because they don't do anything, right? They just
they can't do anything. It's incredibly painful.
Put a Band-Aid on it.
No, you can't. It hurts. It
Put
just
a Band-Aid
hurts.
over your eye.
It's like if I cut you and we just have to wait for it to heal, you know.
It's like when you break your finger and they put it in a splint and then it doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, kind of like antibiotics. I think they gave me a bunch of antibiotics and a lot of barbiturates.
Yeah, because if it gets infected, you could be permanently blind.
Yeah,
I imagine
that's the bad thing. So that's why you're just like you're doing super high, so you know that kind of stuff. But that worked, and then I finally got to the point where I started talking about LASIX. Was that 45, 46 then?
I think you were 45 or 46.
Yeah, because you were watched. Do you remember?
I wasn't there. I wasn't allowed to go.
Oh,
because I was in school, I think.
Oh yeah, your mom she took me, and she was my driver homer. And you go and I talked to the guys in Bethesda. It wasn't that far away. It's kind of, you know, where I interestingly enough is pretty close to where I first got my first classes.
That's funny. That's pretty funny. Full circle.
So it was in the same area, but I went to this guy and he was highly recommended, blah, blah, blah. I hadn't blinded too many people. And so they do this thing and they stick a little opener that opens your eye all the way up like this and keeps it open while they cut your eye with a laser. That's what LASIK is. They shorten some cornea or something like that.
You got to keep your eyeballs still, though, I imagine, right?
Yeah, you're keeping it still,
or else
it's open.
But you have to keep your control of the eyeball.
And they dilated it. You can't. Don't move. So you got to look straight forward while someone's trying to stick a needle in your eye. Pretty much.
Yeah, that scares me.
That's what a laser is. Well, anyway, remember, I'm in there and the guy gives me a cup of Valium. He says, okay. He asked me what my favorite liquor is, and I say bourbon. And he asked me what my favorite music is, and I say AC/DC. And then he gives me the two. He says, take these. And he pours a shot. I think he poured a shot for him and me. And we do a shot. And then, or maybe it was just me. It might have just been me.
I think it was I would hope it was just you, but
I just thought it was wild because he says, well, you got to have a shot before you go out there, right? And he pours one, and I said, I'll take two. And I said, I'm pretty, I've got high tolerance anyway. And I think I don't remember if I had two. And I went out there and, you know, I was fine.
Melted the fear away.
Yeah. Well, it allows you to be incredibly steady when you're under duress if you got a little bit of a buzz and you're like that. It's kind of the same as Adderall, you know, in a way. I think
painkillers the same as a focus drug.
When you do painkillers and liquor for a very quick For me, it was like I didn't have any, like, I wasn't worried.
Mm.
Whereas the biggest thing coming into that was being worried. You know, I think it's a different mindset to be able to stay completely still because you're no longer worried or you no longer give a crap, as opposed to when you get Adderall and you're like, this is what you have to do. Well, in Adderall, you're just going to do it.
Fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's two
I see
outcomes.
what you're saying. Yeah.
It's the two outcomes that would be exactly the same, but they're completely different directions. You know, one, you're coming because you're speeding your brains out, and the other guy is just like, yo, dude, I'm gonna just sit here and
I'd be scared I move my eyeball. That's what I'd be scared about. That's
well,
what I've always been worried about.
they do this and they put it on there like this, and they have a wide opener, and then he has the laser, and
Well, that's just the lid, though. That's not the eyeball
right.
itself.
Well, not the eyeball. They actually only do the cornea, so it's only the dark part, and the dark part is dilated, and they're only cutting a small portion of that.
How
so
fast?
they get it.
Oh, sorry.
It's
Continue.
like it's probably, I don't know, second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
You're not there for 20 minutes?
Well, you're there for 20 minutes, but they got to get it ready. And most of it is like, okay, how you feel? Feeling okay? You ready? We're gonna start here in a minute. We have the laser, it's lined up, it's right center on your eye. You feel comfortable with that? Are you good with that? I'm sitting here. I got it right exactly where it's got to be. I got it at 8 points gauge past 60, whatever the hell it is. Blah, 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 blah. Are you ready? Are you ready? Zap!
Oh, that's it. It's done after that.
It's very fast.
Oh, wow. But you got to do 2 eyes. So it's like 2
but
seconds.
I did both. And the only thing I would say, and I told him this afterward, I said it's life changing because I could do sports with you and everything, and I never had to wear glasses again. And you lost that automatic. Hey, I know how to get Dad under control. I grab his glasses and throw them on the floor. You couldn't do that anymore because it was just like, well, it doesn't work because I could see and I didn't have glasses.
They had to do the Three Stooges thing.
But as you can see now, I need reading glasses.
It kind of switched.
And he said, well, you wouldn't need. Yeah. Well, you wouldn't need reading glasses anyway. Number one. Number two, the thing that was kind of bad is that since my distance vision was way over calibrated on my glasses, so I could see. Well, when they do the what do you call it? When they do the LASIKs, I can't see as far as I used to. So that was an adjustment. So it actually seemed like it was going backwards. And I was thinking, like, what would have been cool if they said, hey, before you come in, take your glasses off for a couple hours and just get a sense for how messed up your vision truly is. Because if you wear glasses, and I've been wearing them since my God, I wore them almost 10, 15 years. I mean, not like you, but I wore them like 15 years, 18 years. What's that? 10, 15. Yeah, like 18 years. And so it's like a part of your body when you don't have them. Number one. Number two, I could see so well in a distance and I could read. And now I was having trouble reading. I could read things like right here, but like at a computer distance, I had to squint or I had to move in I had to move in real close, that kind of stuff. So it's very, very different.
Yeah, my friend.
But what about you?
It was the best decision he ever made in his life was the LASIK.
Really?
Yeah, best decision he ever made.
I mean, Seth said the same thing.
I think everybody says the same thing. I've never heard somebody that regretted it.
But he's dead, so that's probably not good.
That's true. That's very true.
I mean, hold it. Granddad, he said he really, really thought it was a great idea. Where's he?
He's also dead.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
Do you
know what? I'm starting to see a trend here. Maybe I won't get LASIK.
Do you know that if you get LASIK, that you will eventually die?
Do you know like 98 or 99% of those that
this
drink
is not
water?
A good line.
No, it's not. It's a terrible bit. But you were gonna ask me something. What were you gonna ask me?
Yeah, your immediate relatives die when you get LASIKs.
That's exactly how it works.
Yes.
There seems to be a trend.
Well, I was thinking like, where you are now, you had yours much earlier.
Yeah.
You had, I mean, I remember you had trouble seeing the board. And the funny thing is like when you're in first and second grade, you can't really communicate as to what it is that you can't do. Usually kids just become instant assholes. Like I was one probably all my years in school, but and part of it may have been that I could not see. And another thing that I do in all meetings and everything, I sit in the front row. And it's like, why do you do that? And it's like, well, I want to keep If you're the teacher, there's nothing between me and you. So if we have a conversation, I don't have a worry about everybody else. If you're in the back of the room, you're talking to 150 people. If you're sitting in the front row, I'm only talking to one. Right.
Wise. That's wise.
And that works for me really, really, really well to make me have no problem asking questions also. And, and also them remembering you and all that other kind of happy horse shit, whatever you do when you do this kind of stuff when you're in school.
Well, also, I'll tell you, how many people do you know in your life when you've been in like an auditorium or something like that actually ask questions from the back row? I don't think I know.
It's very difficult.
Very rare.
I've
rarely have I ever seen anybody do that.
I've done it, and it's very hard to do. I've done it in a group of like 5,000. Why did you do this or why did you do that? And it's not easy because you have to formulate the question, and you go up there, and then you're all dry mouth and you're worried, and people say, "Oh, it's just speaking." It's like it's not the same.
No, it's not.
When I go on stage, when I would speak to 500 people, and I did this quite frequently, 20, 30 times a year.
Yeah.
For 10 years, it would be I would prep. I would highly prep. I mean, I would work. I would throw the speech, what I was going to say. I'd have the slides to where for the program, whatever pitch, whatever thing I was going to do, I'd put them on the bed and I'd practice it the night before until I just had a comfortable feeling with it. So when I looked at it up there, I didn't need any notes. I didn't need anything. I would just go for it. Whereas when you're going up there and you have a question and you want to ask somebody about a certain outcome, you have to you don't get a chance to prep. You don't get a chance to prepare. You walk up and you just have it and you do it. And it's like, well, how many clowns are in a dozen? Okay, there's 12, sir. Oh, okay. And the worst thing is you feel like you'll be stupid. But the one thing I did find out in a lot of these things, we were raising capital. The thing to do is not to ask questions from the audience. You ask questions from the audience if you're interested in getting people in the rest of the audience behind you or to be impressed with you. If you want those people on stage to know who you are and to know things, you wait until the second that everybody's clapping to say, "Thank you for coming, Bob Johnson." And when they do that, you rush the stage and you stand to the left and you stand there and you wait for them to walk down, or you walk up to their podium seat where they are and you ask them direct questions. And the way you do it is you hand them your business card and you say, "Hi, Phil Brown, a record of my father. I had a question about what you said," and you ask them directly, and they look you in the eye and they have your card, and they're probably going to throw it in the trash or not, but you may be able to pique their interest, but they will know you. And you will ask them for their business card because they may give it, "Oh, I don't have any more." And that's basically go fuck off, But if they do, you've created a relationship there that you can win at in the future. And I learned that through trial and error,
Interesting.
I mean, you would keep, you can, if you got Steve Ballmer on the stage and he's just spoke and you want to say something, go ask it to him directly. Look him in the eye. And I will tell you that and alone will make them, oh.
Establishing personal connection. Yeah, no, that is 100%.
Yeah.
Well, that is, you told me about those stories, and that's when I went to a couple film festivals.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I would do after.
Yeah.
Just because it's the most, what's the word? Threatening? It's not threatening, but it's scary. It's a scary.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's socially
it's very
awkward. You're
walk up
standing there. It's like being at a bar and you want to go talk to somebody at the bar that you don't know. And
Yeah.
it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
It's a 2 or 3 minute date.
Yeah, but then you have to say, am I going to be more disappointed in the car afterwards of not doing it, or am I going to be
You will.
more
Every time.
You will every time.
Every time.
Make an ass of
Never
yourself.
have I not asked a question and been happy.
Oh, yeah, me as
And
well.
and the thing is that I'm, the only time I've done that, I can't remember, where someone has asked something very similar to it right after me, and then people said, "Well, that's stupid," because that would be the one time. You know what I mean?
Has that happened to you?
No, never has.
That never has either.
But that's
for me.
the only way. That's the only thing I would ever feel like, "Oh, wow, it's great that I didn't ask that question," because everybody thinks that guy's stupid.
But you imagine too that will happen to you, and it never does.
Right, but as I was saying, we're talking on my last decade at GSI was from 05 to 95 to 2005. I averaged 25 events a year that I went to and spoke at.
That is a lot.
So it would be like, and I was doing 2 or 3 a week, in different cities. And I would ask questions of people. I learned that that's not the same thing. I went to a lot of other events where I went to, I actually went to other people speaking, and that's when I asked the question. That's more important than me speaking, because people would come to me afterward and ask me all sorts of personal stuff.
Yeah. I'm just getting an idea. Sorry. A public speaking episode would be a good idea.
Where you staying?
I
What's
just
your
wrote
room
that
number? And
that's a little dangerous. That's a little dangerous.
On my first or second show, somebody asked me where I was staying. I said, "Oh, I'm over in like 304 at the Hilton." And they knocked on my door.
Oh gosh.
About 11 o'clock at night. I didn't answer.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Oh my God, that's like 30 some years ago.
Put the deadbolt on.
Well, you already had, no, you don't do anything. Because I was already married at that time.
Yeah.
You just.
No.
Nope.
Nope.
Nothing good can happen of opening that door.
I don't believe anything good.
Nothing good can
happen.
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
You wouldn't be here.
No, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever. But anyway, we talk about the different. I mean, we really changed from. I'm trying to think of any other like glasses and stuff, and I think about the different types of. When you talk about vision, we have telescopes, and we have those little scopes where we take the pictures we took in Costa Rica. Remember the little bird I sent to you? It was beautiful.
Yeah, what was that? What did you take that? What that was really?
That was through like one of those. It's like a short telescope. That's for actually taking pictures of really tiny birds and things.
That was really cool. I like that a lot.
And the guy would take my phone and put it on there. And I actually bought one and I used it like twice, and I don't use it at all. And it's ridiculously.
Oh, I know exactly the one you're talking about too. It's a single. It's not a binocular. It's What is it? What is one that's just a one nocular? An onocular? Onocular? Oninocular?
Okay, we got once again. See, this is where we got to have.
I don't know.
What do we call it?
I got a quick question for you as well. When the time comes up, do you have to like go up the top for the drop down?
What do you mean?
Like, so we have 10 minutes left right now. Do you see it?
Mononocular.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That probably would have made more sense.
It's kind of like, when you date people, you get mono.
I don't know why. Oh no. Why was Apollo? Maybe Apollo Ono was on my mind. Remember him? Finger skater? Finger? No, he's a speed skater.
Speed
skater. He was.
Did he get 8 goals or 6 or something like that?
He got 6?
He got a bunch. I forgot.
I thought he got nothing, like.
No one's tucked. The coolest one ever was probably, or not, I don't say ever, one of the many I remember when I was growing up was Eric Heiden. And he was a speed skater, and he came out of nowhere, and he got 7 or 8 golds. And he had the most golds of anyone up till, I mean, he was even with Mark Spitz, I think, who had a bunch too. And he just did the one Olympics, and then he finished his school. He became a doctor, and he's a medical doctor, and he never did it again.
Wow.
And you're like, whoa. It's kind of like the guy that won the golden ticket on Charlie's in the Chocolate Factory.
That is exactly what I was gonna say, actually. Jonathan Lipnicki or something like that. And he became a dentist. Yeah, he became a dentist.
Yeah, and they're like, well, that's not what I was going to do, so I did this and I got it. I mean, it's funny when you see people that something like that happens. I mean, I always wonder when we're kind of going around in a circle, is when you hear about the people that do the one really hit song, the really good hit song.
Oh, the one hit wonders, yeah.
Yeah, and then for the rest of their lives, they play in successively smaller venues. Playing at Bob Johnson's Drink and Puke downtown is the Get the Knack. You're gonna get the knack. That's actually a song. Or
I would not have
Disco
thought that was...
Duck. Or,
Disco Duck was so good. Oh, that's a great song.
dead skunk in the middle of the road. That was another one.
That was another one.
Yeah. There's like so many of those. And
well,
you
the
think
whole
to yourself,
object of music is to tour in my mind, right?
But you got a couple, but you would have got, but when you look at people that
same thing as comedians,
they would write more music that would become subsequent hits. And that's, I mean, that when you look at like who is it?
Milli Vanilli.
Mac. Fleetwood Mac did that. They did the one album that had like 8 hits on it, and then they did another one that had like 6 right away.
Same with Queen. Queen had a ton of them.
That solidified them forever.
Well, I think that's skill. That's on a skill basis, right?
Right.
And if you can churn things out that quickly, I mean, the Doors had what 4 back-to-back albums within like 3 years.
Yeah,
crazy. They churned it out, but then to the detriment of their lead singer, right?
Then he decided to die.
Yeah, and then he decided to drink himself to death. God. Yeah. But he didn't really decide that then. He decided that when he was around 17, 18, before he got famous. So that was a decision. Yeah, well, he had been arrested for alcoholism from as early as 16. Or I guess
he was arrested for alcoholism?
For public drunkenness. Yeah. Alcoholic endeavors, things like that. Public drunkenness, starting fights with cops and things like that.
Oh, wow.
Climbing, I think he climbed a goalpost or something when the school was closed.
I remember somebody that used to climb buildings when they were younger.
I don't know anybody that's ever done
Somebody encouraged him too.
I used to always do it when I was shit-faced too, when I was drunk.
No, you were like
12-year-old.
You were 8, man. 8 to 12 when you would do parkour and climb the buildings. Foreign countries at 2:00 in the morning, and you're climbing up the side of the building to go out.
Always drunk when we would do it.
And the people are coming out of the bars at 2 a.m. Oh my God, it was great.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah,
good freaking times.
Yeah,
but that might. Are we good? Are we good on glasses? See you got any party?
I'm trying to think of anything else, and it's like I mean,
I'm good here.
Now I just buy good sunglasses, and I lose them periodically, so I always have 2. And I have really good readers. These are my Porsche readers. They're ridiculous, but they stick to your head when you look down, and they're really, really clear. And I like them better than any glasses I've had. Some guy in your neck of the woods is the one that said, "You got to get these. You got to try these. The Porsche 7407s." And he hooked me on them. I mean, I'm the kind of person when I find something that works for me and satisfies all the all the little things, I do it. Keep going back.
Customer satisfaction.
Right.
Customer satisfaction. Yep. That's what we're all about here at A Record of My Father.
Yeah, when you wear jeans, I wear the same jeans, but I don't wear jeans anymore. That's another thing.
Yeah, why did you stop wearing jeans? You don't wear jeans anymore.
No, I'm more of I'm fluffy now,
You don't wear the jeans?
I don't need the constriction. I feel like jeans to me are constricting, and I would rather have a more looseness.
I only see you wear sweatpants ever now.
Yeah, sweatpants. I have nice slacks that I wear, and as the wife has said, that you're at an age where you can't do that anymore. You can't wear Mickey Mouse shirts. You can't do that anymore. It's not fun. It's silly.
That's why they say it's better to die young so you can wear your graphic t-shirts.
Right, exactly.
More consistently, yeah. I think that's exactly what it's all about.
No more pink sweatshirts that say Hard Rock Cafe on them anymore.
What?
From Las Vegas.
It's got to be one day a week that you can wear those. It's got to be one day a week. I swear.
I think you got to be hammered when you do.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, I have my the 2 little statues from Easter Island.
Yeah, I like that shirt a lot actually. Yeah, the green one.
I have my Kilimanjaro. We climbed Kilimanjaro.
Still have that one. Yeah, that was a good shirt too.
Yeah, and I had Inca Trail, but I got rid of it. I think those are really the only ones that have any writing on them anymore. I don't have anything. I don't have like any football jersey. Sports to me is
it's silly. It's silly to me.
I want to go see it and enjoy it at the moment.
Exactly. I want to be in the stadium. But on that note, I think we're running out of time here. Thank you again for listening, everybody, to our rambling. And Q&A section on the Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts, and we're now on YouTube. First, I think 30 episodes are up there right now.
Oh my gosh.
So go check those out if you don't have access to any other podcasting platform. Thank you, guys.
70 million streams.
70 million streams and counting.
Yeah.
You have anything to say? You all good?
That was a lie.